What's up, everybody? This is the Chicago Sports Talk. Michael back at it again with another Chicago Bears video. This is why Caleb Williams has no excuses and should have a somewhat of a CJ Stroud year. Now, I already know what the comments are going to say, and I can already read them coming from a mile away, and this video hasn't yet to be uploaded yet. Michael, it's not fair to put a lot on a rookie that's translating to the NFL, and he's going to have to learn Shane Waldron's playbook. Like I said, and I already know people are going to say you can't expect much out of a rookie. You can't. I would understand if the Chicago Bears were like the Washington Commanders, the New England Patriots, the Minnesota Vikings, the New York Giants, teams that honestly are not better than the Bears. They don't have the weapons that the Bears have had. They don't have the defense the Bears have had. So let's get to Caleb Williams. And yes, I'm going to evaluate him. I'm not going to sugarcoat. I'm not going to make excuses for him like the Caleb Williams fans will do if Caleb struggles this year. I'm not going to make excuses. There is no, like I said, if the Bears have a terrible year, it's not going to be on the coaches. It's not going to be on the players. It's going to be on one man and one man only, and that is the individual that's right here, and that's going to be Caleb Williams. So I have scouted Caleb Williams ever since this whole Justin Fields and Caleb Williams debate has happened. And I have said this so many times, and people want to grasp at me and say, you're a Caleb hater. Oh, you're a Justin Fields cultist. Like, why am I being called like that? Just because I wanted the Bears to keep Justin Fields does not mean I'm smarter than Ryan Poles. Obviously, Ryan Poles made the tough call and traded. Justin Fields is no longer on this team anymore. I don't want to discuss Justin Fields anymore on this channel unless it's for good reason. So, again, people just want me to go on this Caleb Williams trade where he could do no wrong. He's like Jesus Christ to these people. Like he's this perfect player, and he is the one piece the Bears are missing. When I can easily name Bears holes right now without even saying quarterback. Quarterback is the one because we traded Justin Fields. Wide receiver is the need, but it's not a huge need. Then you have the center position, which the Bears cannot neglect the center position. They need to draft a center, whether that's in the first, second, third. Could make a debate about the fourth round. The center is a huge need. Okay, we need depth at guard, which in case that Nate Davis thing does not work out, we need a safety behind Kevin Byard to be the long-term, not future successor. We need depth behind Tevin Jenkins. We don't people seem to forget. Okay, people want to say, Michael, our offensive line is fine, but the thing is, they were only healthy for 3 straight games. People forget Braxton Jones missed 5 games. People forget that the center position was beyond horrible with Cody Whitehair and Lucas Patricks. People forget that Tevin Jenkins was also hurt. People forget that Nate Davis was hurt. The only one that stood healthy the entire year on that offensive line was Darnell Wright. Meanwhile, the other offensive linemen, they missed games. So getting depth at the offensive line is very important. Also, we need a edge rusher, a company of Montez Sweat. Okay? So the fact that these people that think that Caleb is the only thing that the Bears need, you have to check yourself in the mirror and say that, are you sure this is going to be the final piece in the rebuild, which is I'm going to use Ryan Poles' example. When he first got hired, he said, we're going to build for the draft brick by brick. And for the 2 years that Justin Fields was here, they didn't have a good, like I said, before last year, they didn't have a good roster. They teared down the roster. Right? Poles had to clean up Ryan Pace's mess and had to tear, like I said, the fact that Caleb's going into a better situation than Mitch and Fields did is a crime, because Mitch never had the weapons that Caleb had. Justin never had the weapons that Caleb had besides DJ Moore and Cole Kmet. So there should be no excuse. Like, I'm already going to read the comments and people are going to say, oh, you're too harsh on Caleb. You're going to be too harsh on Caleb. You're too hard on Caleb. No, I'm evaluating him like I'm supposed to do. Okay? Was I upset when Fields was gone? Yes, absolutely. But here's the thing. I do not pretend to be Ryan Poles, because at the end of the day, I'm just a fan like y'all are. We want to see the Bears win. Yes, we may have different viewpoints of how to get there, but at the end of the day, Caleb does not fill every position. Yes, it's a quarterback-driven league, but at the end of the day, every quarterback gets developed. And if you think Caleb is going to do what Patrick Mahomes did, you're crazy. Like, me being a Bears fan and expecting Caleb to be the pick, I'm getting tired of this Patrick Mahomes comparison, because it's every day. Caleb is going to be Mahomes 2.0. Hey, Caleb Williams is going to be the first Bears quarterback to throw 4,000 yards. Oh, Caleb Williams this, Caleb Williams that. Caleb Williams, hey, can we imagine the combination of Roma Doomsday with Caleb Williams? Like, can we pump the brakes on that a little bit? Which is why I say this. Which is why I'm worried. And this is why I kind of got on the negative side about Caleb. And we're going to go to his pros and cons. But first, we got to start off with the pros here, because to be positive about this, he has elite mechanics. He has a very strong arm. He throws with anticipation. He can extend plays. He has elite pocket awareness. So when I say mechanics, he has good mechanics to be easily, potentially a top 5 quarterback. When he has a very strong arm, I see that he has a good flick of a wrist ball. Like, he could throw 60-yard bombs all day, every day. He also throws the ball with anticipation. He can also extend plays. You saw him do a lot last year. And he also has good pocket awareness. But where the cons is, you have to really ask yourself the question. He plays hero ball way too much. You saw it after the Notre Dame game. He was playing way too much hero ball, and that cost him so much games. The Notre Dame game is a prime example, and I've watched that game like 50 times to see what went wrong in that game. And yes, I will say it was not all on Caleb Williams. And people want to say that, oh, I'm putting it all on Caleb. No, Caleb had not really like a beyond terrible team, but he had a bad team. He only had one NFL receiver. That was Jordan Addison. And other than that, he did not, like I said, he didn't have a good offensive line. His offense, like Lincoln Riley, and I believe that somebody even told me this question. Do you think Lincoln Riley was holding Caleb Williams back at all? Yes, I do think so. But, like I said, when you're compared to the best prospect you've seen since Andrew Luck, so the best prospect since, like I said, people are comparing Caleb and saying that he's better than Andrew Luck and he's better than Trevor Lawrence. And I've known Trevor, like I said, I don't know much about it. I know that Andrew Luck got absolutely screwed by the Colts. Trevor is a different story, which Trevor started as a freshman for all of his 4 years in Clemson. Like I said, just because this is labeled as the best quarterback class that you've seen in a decade does not mean it's true. Because remember the 2021 draft class? Yes, I remember. How did that thing work? Only one has a starting job right now. And he has pressure going into next year. Also, one of Caleb Williams' cons is he holds on the ball for too long. I've said this millions of times. If you think getting rid of Justin Fields is going to solve the holding on the ball for too long issue, like I said, you have to rethink yourself. And also, people say that Justin Fields fumbles a lot. Well, Caleb also comes with fumbles. Could they be fixed? Absolutely. But that's going to be a quarterback, that thing that he needs to work on, and that's a coach thing. Yes, Caleb is going into Shane Waldron, which Shane Waldron absolutely resurrected Geno Smith. Geno Smith is not – Caleb's potential is better than Geno Smith. I've said this millions of times, and I'm giving Caleb credit, which people think that I'm hating on Caleb. I'm pointing out what people want to see. Okay, his ceiling is Aaron Rodgers. His floor is Baker Mayfield. I'm not saying his ceiling is Patrick Mahomes by any means necessary, because that's not fair to say he's going to be Patrick Mahomes, because you're telling me he's going to throw 50 touchdowns and get to the championship game and have a Super Bowl and have like 3 Super Bowls like in his early career like Patrick Mahomes is? No. If you think that, you're bugging. Rome was not built in a day. This is the third year in Ryan Poles' rebuild. Like I said, Ryan Poles has had a vision since day one. And I'm going to give my last final thing on Caleb Williams. If y'all can just let me explain myself for a second. And I'm saying this, and I'm pretty sure people are going to take what I say as a fan out of context. And although Caleb has intangibles to make him a potential top 5 quarterback in the NFL, he's not a perfect quarterback. His fumbling, which he led college in fumbles last year than any quarterback entering in the draft, I'd say granted, Caleb had only one Pro Bowl level receiver, Jordan Addison. Caleb struggled during the Notre Dame game and fell off after that. Yes, the team was awful, but there was many times Caleb folded under pressure. He was in many close games this year and came up short. The chances of him being Patrick Mahomes, and I give it a 0.1% chance of happening. So I'm seeing the bigger picture here, folks. Like I said, if to anybody that says he's Patrick Mahomes 2.0, have you watched him at all? Have you watched him since his days in Oklahoma? I've been consistent on this. I'm not going to be jumping up and down. When the Bears take Caleb Williams, I'm going to say, don't fuck this up, Bears, which is what I'm going to say on the draft stream. Do not fuck this up, Bears, because if you do, you're going to, like I said, I'm not going to deal with another quarterback controversy. We're not going to be talking about Caleb Williams versus Arch Manning in 2026, because this is a notion. This is going to be a trend here in the NFL. And people think that I don't know what I'm talking about of college football. It's going to come. I guarantee it. Arch Manning is going to get hyped up a lot because of his last name. And people think I'm bugging when I say that, but in 3 years, they're going to be they're going to be on the Arch Manning train. And if Caleb fails, I'm not going to be bound to go for another civil war of, hey, who's going to be a better quarterback for this team going forward, Caleb Williams or Arch Manning? Like, I don't want to go through that. I want to have, I'm tired of hearing the Bears are a historic franchise, because we're not. Like I said, we're superior to the Lions. Like I said, if we didn't have that one run in 1985, who would the Bears be? Like I said, people can bring up NFL championships. People can bring up, if it wasn't for the Bears, the NFL doesn't exist. But guess what? Do you want to know what they talk about with the NFL? They talk about the Patriots. They talk about the Chiefs. They talk about the Packers. They don't talk about the Bears. The Bears are rarely even mentioned when we talk about the NFL history. Even the 49ers. Like I said, I forgot the 49ers and the Giants. This history happened more. Like I said, if you, like I said, the Bears are, like I said, you could say that they're the charter franchise thousands of times, and you could say that we're the reason the NFL started. Well, guess what? We sure don't show it. We don't show we're the charter franchise. Like the Bears should have at least been up there with the Steelers and Patriots. But guess what? They're only run, and like I said, the organization lives on that 1985 run with Jim McMahon, Walter Payton, and that defense. Which I've said this millions of times. I would like to see us win a Super Bowl. I would. But here's the thing, though. I want to make sure Caleb prevents the conversation of any future quarterbacks. And that's not including Arch Manning. I'm talking about the other quarterbacks that may be considered generational. It's going to be, Manning is, they're going to say Manning is Eli Manning 2.0, or worse, Arch Manning is Peyton Manning 2.0. But like I said, this is this is going to be a new trend in the NFL where they have to eventually deem somebody generational. It's how the NFL prospect works. And if you are a Bears fan with knowledge and you do not take idiots from Twitter, which Twitter's becoming such a toxic place to be in, because there's still there's Bears fans talking about Justin Fields. And they're, like I said, you listen to Twitter way too much when you say this is crap. So just look at Caleb for who he is and say, hey, yes, he's going in a good situation. He has no excuses to succeed. He has more than what Mitch and Fields had. Let me be honest, he's going to be the only quarterback that's going in a perfect situation. Better than Drake May, better than Jaden Daniels, better than Bo Nix, better than Michael Penix, and so on many quarterbacks. And I can make the case that he's going in the best situation possible than any quarterback that's ever been taken with the number one overall pick. Because usually when you get taken with the number one overall pick, you're going in a dumpster fire organization, which people want him to pull an Eli Manning and go to the Commanders, which is a way dumpster fire than the Bears right now. And also going to make a separate video about why people are doing this Eli Manning stuff, which is, I get it. Chicago doesn't have a good history of developing quarterbacks, but Caleb has no excuses. He should develop in year one. And if he doesn't, that's a failure on him. But anyways, that's it. That's all for today's video. Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you agree with me or not? I'm pretty sure there's going to be people that don't agree with me, but that's fine. I'm pretty sure I'll be reading the comments eventually. But as always, thanks for watching, and bear down.